You're told your salary is yours, you earned it, you worked for it. You traded your time, your energy, your life for that number on a payslip. But history asks a different question, not how much you earn, but who actually controls it. Because the moment money touches the system, ownership becomes complicated. And the uncomfortable truth is this: your salary passes through so many hands, mechanisms, and silent claims that by the time it reaches you, it's already been divided, diluted, and partially confiscated, not illegally, not secretly, but systematically. This isn't a conspiracy. It's a structure, and it didn't start yesterday. In ancient empires, rulers understood something fundamental. Controlling money meant controlling people. Roman soldiers were paid in coin, but those coins were taxed, debased, and reclaimed through prices set by the state. When emperors ran out of silver, they didn't stop paying soldiers. They reduced the silver content. On paper, wages stayed the same. In reality, purchasing power collapsed. The soldier blamed merchants. The merchant blamed shortages. The emperor kept control. This was one of the first lessons of monetary power. You don't need to cut wages if you can change what wages buy. Fast forward to medieval Europe. Peasants worked the land, but the fruits of that labor were split before they ever reached the worker. A portion went to the Lord, a portion to the church, a portion to the crown. What remained was survival. Ownership of labor never meant ownership of output. The hierarchy decided first. The worker received what was left. The modern world likes to believe it escaped this logic. It didn't. It refined it. Today, you receive a salary number that feels precise, calculated, objective, but before that money reaches your account, claims are already placed on it. Taxes are the most obvious, but they are only the beginning. Income tax removes a portion immediately. Social contributions remove another. These are visible, so they feel legitimate. But the real extraction begins after the paycheck clears. Inflation is the first invisible owner of your salary. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't send a bill. It simply ensures that the money you earn today buys less tomorrow. If your wages rise by 3% and prices rise by 6%, the system didn't take your money directly. It took your time. You worked the same hours for less real value. This is not a bug. It's how debt-based economies survive without revolt. Inflation allows governments to reduce obligations without admitting failure. Your salary becomes the adjustment mechanism. Then there is housing. For most people, the largest share of income flows directly into rent or mortgage payments. That money doesn't circulate freely. It funnels upward into property owners, banks, and financial institutions. If you rent, a portion of your salary services someone else's asset. If you own with debt, an even larger portion services interest. In both cases, ownership is delayed, conditional, or denied. Your labor maintains a system of asset concentration while you remain on the treadmill. Debt is the second major owner of your salary. Student loans, consumer credit, car payments, mortgages. These obligations are structured so that your future labor is already spoken for. Long before you receive tomorrow's paycheck, it has a destination. Interest ensures that you pay more than the original cost, transferring additional value upward. Debt doesn't need force. It relies on predictability. As long as you continue working, it continues extracting. This is why modern economies celebrate employment above all else. A working population is a paying population. Banks play a quieter role. Your salary enters an account that feels personal, but legally, it isn't fully yours. Deposits are liabilities on a bank's balance sheet. They can be frozen, restricted, or restructured in times of crisis. History is filled with reminders. Argentina, Cyprus, Lebanon. Ordinary people woke up to find access limited or denied. The money existed on screens, but control belonged elsewhere. What you own is a claim, not the asset itself. Corporations also stake a claim. Wages are set not by your contribution to society, but by market power. Productivity has risen dramatically over the last century. Wages have not kept pace. The difference didn't disappear. It flowed into profits, executive compensation, and asset prices. Your salary reflects bargaining power, not value created. This is why entire economies can grow while workers feel poor. Growth is captured before it reaches you. The state claims another portion through consumption. Sales taxes, value-added taxes, fuel taxes. Every time you spend your salary, another slice is extracted. This ensures that even money that escapes direct taxation is eventually reclaimed. The more you consume to survive, the more the system recaptures. Saving becomes difficult not because people lack discipline, but because the structure punishes accumulation at the individual level. Even time claims ownership of your salary. Retirement systems assume continuous contribution and delayed benefit. Pensions depend on future solvency. Inflation erodes fixed incomes. What you earn today is expected to support you decades later, but history shows that promises rarely survive unchanged. Empires fall, systems reset, obligations are redefined. The risk is quietly transferred to the individual. When you step back, a pattern emerges. Your salary is not a reward. It is a distribution mechanism. It allocates just enough to keep the system functioning while directing surplus upward. This isn't about villains, it's about incentives. Systems optimize for their own survival. Individuals adapt or struggle within them. This is why economic crises feel so asymmetric. During crash, salaries stagnate or disappear, but assets are protected, bailed out, or purchased cheaply by those with access to capital. The worker absorbs volatility, the system absorbs nothing. After 2008, millions lost jobs and homes. Banks were stabilized. After 2020, trillions were created. Asset prices surged, wages lagged. The transfer was quiet but massive, so who really owns your salary? Not one entity, it's a network of claims. Taxes, inflation, debt, housing, finance, consumption, each takes a slice. By the time you decide how to use what's left, most decisions have already been made for you. Freedom exists, but within narrow bounds. This doesn't mean effort is meaningless. It means awareness matters more than belief. History shows that people who understand these mechanisms don't necessarily escape them entirely, but they navigate them differently. They focus on ownership over income, on assets over wages, on skills that retain value when currencies don't, on reducing claims against their future labor. Every era tells workers the same story: work hard, be patient, trust the system. History tells another story. Systems change, claims shift, promises are renegotiated. Those who assume their salary is fully theirs are always the most surprised when it isn't. Your paycheck is not a measure of freedom, it's a position within a structure. And once you see that, the question changes. Not how much do you earn, but how much of your labor do you actually keep?